Hi, so in this video we are actually going to discuss Microsoft Word and the mail merge feature. And what we do here is create a series of letters using the database we created in the previous video to send out to our network. As you can see, I've already created the base of the letter, which is basically, it's going to be the same, but I want to personalize it for each recipient. So I've got 3 letters I'm sending out, and these are people that met at a conference, and I want to make sure that the base of the letter is pretty much the same, and I'm going to personalize it for each recipient. But I actually do that after I have all their information there and before I print it out. So I'll be able to edit these documents. I find that people know when they're receiving a stock letter. So we really want to create, like I said, you want to create the framework, but you do want to personalize it so that they know that they met you and that you made a connection. As stated before, this is about relationship building. And it does take, some effort, but it's not hard. And once you get into the habit of it, it'll be quite a bit easier. So what we're going to do is actually go up and start through the mail merge feature, which is, we're already here in mailing, so we click on that. I want to hit Start Mail Merge. It's very important. I'm going to click on Letters. I'm going to click Select Recipients, Use an Existing List. So we're going to use the list we've already created. And with Windows and Microsoft, what it'll do is it automatically goes to your C drive or your Windows drive and into your data sources. So wherever that's located, generally it's under Users, Nora, Documents, My Data Sources. I'm going to click on Nora's network, open it. And then I'm going to show all the databases and click OK. So then this select table pops up and it shows you all of the referral list or the network list that I created in the Excel spreadsheet. I actually want to send this to the people in the referral club that I met at the conference. I'll click OK. And then I want to edit that list. And the reason I want to do that, I'm going to expand this a little bit. See, there were a couple blank spaces in there, and the program here, it's just a program, so it's actually going to create letters and it'll autofill with dear sir and madam. So you really just want to check that box and then just check these ones individually. So I want to send this out to Smith, Jones, and Johnson. So we're click OK, and then we're ready to actually start adding the merge fields. So the first one is address block. So we come in here, and I want something a little less formal than Mr. Joshua, so I'm going to go to Josh Randall Jr. But if you come up here, you see that the information is out of place. It doesn't really make any sense. So what we want to do is go into match fields. And we click on that box, and this appears. So what's happened is, through this process, these titles here have autofilled with some of the incorrect information. So we have courtesy title here, and it's put in the title, which is actually the job title. We want the prefix. We want the courtesy title. That'll give it Mr., Ms., that type of thing. We want last name. We have the suffix in here. We have a nickname, title, company. So what you see, some of this information is out of order. So I'm actually going to put address line number 1 here. I'll put company here. And I'll go down and make sure that first name is matched. Hit OK. But as you see, so what's missing here? So actually, the job title. So you want to use the appropriate job title. So we're actually going to have to finesse this a little bit. So for some reason, my match fields are not coordinating properly. They may do it for you, but here's a little tip that I found. So what I really want to do here is, I've got this now. All of a sudden, everything's in the proper order. So the first name is up here, the suffix. But in the company line, is what I want the job title right, the first line after the Mr. Bob Johnson Sr. So really what I want to do is come, instead of the company, I'm actually going to put title, which is job title. Instead of address line number 1, I'm actually going to put company. Instead of address line number 2, I'm actually going to highlight address line number 1. The rest of the information is correct. We don't have anything country or region. We don't need to worry about that. I'm hit OK. And so here, everything populates. So here, you've got a way in which to work around those match fields and make it work the way you want it to work. So, and really what we're doing here is this is business letter format. So this is how a correct business letter should be. It should be his name, his job title, company, and address. So as I go through, preview all of these, I see that I have all of this is correctly laid out. So I'll hit OK. And there's that address block. And really what I want to do here now is come in, and I am actually going to insert the greeting line. This pops up, and you'll see it says Dear. It's still very formal, but if you click on this, there really aren't that many options. We're going to keep it as Dear. And then we're going to go down and use the informal Josh Randall Jr. Actually, or what we really like is just the first name. We don't want to be that formal. This is in case there's nothing in the information for it to pull. So if we had left those blank rows in the database, it would populate with Dear Sir or Madam, and then it would just have this. It would continue to make these letters. So it's just doing what you're telling it to do. So we don't need to worry about that, but this is what it's going to preview. And so that looks good, so I'm going to hit OK. And then I am going to preview results. So here we have all of our information. I think I want some more space in between here, so I'm going to click Enter. I definitely want some more space in between the date and his information. But what I don't like is all of the space in between here. So I'm actually going to highlight this address block, click Home, and I'm actually going to come to see where this paragraph section, see where the up and down arrows, the line and paragraph spacing, bring it all the way down to remove space after paragraph, and there. So I've created this area that doesn't have a lot of space in between it, and it doesn't take attention away from the body of the letter. So we're going to go back to mailings. I'm going to go through all of my recipients, and there's all the letters. So here I've got all of my information in the letter at one time. But I still have to work on this. So if I started updating this with this information, it's going to update to each and every single letter, which I don't want it to do. So I'm going to go up to Finish and Merge, click on that, and hit Edit Individual Documents. I want to merge all the documents, so click OK. So it creates an entirely new document for me with all 3 letters on here. I'm going to click that down a little bit so I can see it, and as you see, I've got that there. So what I am actually going to do is, so I talked about Sue about, okay. Oh, sorry. So now, one of the reasons is you'll notice I've got all of this in red, and I do that so that it reminds myself that I need to change that information. I've done this many times where I created the framework, I had not highlighted things in red, I've gone to print it out, and I've left, I have forgotten to change out this information. So, effort to not waste my time, I do this, but you do need to change their text color. So we talked about the stock market and how it'll impact the future of, I'm going to do the financial industry. But as you see, it's still highlighting red, so I'm going to back up here, come up here and just click on, all I need to do is click on the block there. I don't actually need to open it up again. So future of the financial industry. Okay, so now I'm going to then talk about something that I was impressed with that mirrors the stock market and the future of the financial industry with your, let's just say we talked about your take on the volatility. Oh, and I've misspelled it, so I'm going to go back and just change it. The stock market and 401ks. Okay? If you have time, let's meet for a coffee. So this is where I'm going to talk about, and since I'm keeping this fairly business-like, I'm not going to get too personal, but I'd love to talk to you more about and here I keep forgetting, but it's a nice reminder. I'm going to click that. The future of retirement investing. You know what? Instead of saying the future, I'm going to say trends in retirement investing. But how about future trends in? Okay, so I'm going to delete of. So I'd love to talk some more about the future trends in retirement investing. And I'm going to assume that I have, actually I'm going to follow up with a phone call. Okay, I'm letting them know what my future steps are going to be so that they can actually expect a phone call from me. Since this is actually a letter, a phone call might be a little bit better. And then this shows me the errors that I've got to fix before I send out. Okay, and then I'm going to check my spacing here. I actually do not have enough space as a business letter. I do not have enough space, so I'm going to give this 4 spaces. I'm actually going to give this an extra space and an extra space. So visually this just looks better. So, and this looks a little too much. I'm going to zoom out. So that gives me an idea of what this is going to look like when I print it. It's kind of nice on the page. And it's nice and short. People don't read that much today, so we really don't want to have a letter that just goes on and on and on, because this is, it's great. I met you. I like talking to you. I'd like to get together. So, and then you can go ahead and do this for each and every letter that you've got. And so I'm going to, I'm not going to go through editing in each one. Go back to mailings. And then this way we've got it. We go through and you can print it. So that's that. And I would recommend saving this because you want to be able to really keep a record of how you've stayed in touch with these people. So I've actually created a folder on my computer called Network Your Way to Success. I'm going to save it in there. And then I am going to create it as and I'm actually just put their first names, Bob, Sue, Joe, and Bob. So I actually know that I sent this, just by looking at it, I sent an Omni conference networking letter to Sue, Joe, and Bob on April 7th, 2017. So that's actually, without having to go look to open it up and take a look, I can look at it and tell exactly who I sent it to and when I sent it. And then it's just a quick and easy way to stay in touch. So that when I go back in the file, let's say in 3 months, I realize maybe I haven't sent anything out to them in a while. So then I know I need to go ahead and follow up again.